Welcome, Bruchim Habayim. I'm Rabbi Bender, the Chief Mission Officer at Los Angeles Jewish Health, and with me today is my wonderful daughter, Shoshie Bender-Bernstein. Shosh, tell them what we're going to do today.
Today, we're going to be making my famous Sufganiyot. I make them for our Hanukkah party every year, and they're super fun and easy to make. My favorite thing about this recipe is it doesn't require yeast, so you don't need to wait hours for it to rise. You can just make it, fry it, and serve it.
And I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that people don't usually wait for dessert to have your Sufganiyot. They walk in, they see them, and they start munching. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
They're really a hit of our Hanukkah party. So how do we begin, Shosh?
Well, first you need to get all your ingredients ready. What you need is 4 eggs, 6 tablespoons of sugar, 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 12 ounces of vanilla yogurt, oil for frying, and then optional you can have Confectioners sugar, and then you need a jam of your choosing. You could do apricot, you could do raspberry. Today we're doing raspberry because that's a family favorite. But yeah, those are all the ingredients you're going to need. Let's do the 6 tablespoons of sugar. We actually already have that measured in here. We have 6 tablespoons of sugar. I'm going to pour that right in. Next we have the 3 cups of flour.
Okay, so I have a half cup here, so it'll take 6 of those.
6 of these, all right.
6 flat ones.
Next we have the 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Here's the baking powder,
Amazing.
and here is the teaspoon.
Oh, okay, awesome. So we have 1. That's number 1, and then this is number 2.
All right. Is that all of our dry ingredients?
That is all of our dry ingredients.
Fantastic.
So now we mix this all together with a spoon. Okay, so once you adequately mix that, everything looks mixed together. What you do is you start with the eggs in a separate bowl.
Here, shall we switch out the bowls to get to the
Yes.
wet ingredients?
So now we start with the wet ingredients. We take a separate bowl and we crack 4 eggs.
What's
So now, next we mix the 4 eggs together. I like to use a fork. This part's really fun. So you're gonna finish stirring the eggs, keep going until they're a nice solid yellow. And then you put in the other wet ingredient, which is the yogurt. You need 12 ounces, which is the same as 1.5 cups. We're once again going to use our half cup. So we need 3 of these.
12 ounces.
12 ounces or 1.5 cups.
Of
The
vanilla yogurt.
A vanilla yogurt, it's a kind of a surprise ingredient. The donuts do not end up tasting like yogurt. People can never tell that there's surprise yogurt in the recipe, but I think it's what allows it to have a nice fluffy texture. So then you mix the wet ingredients together, so the eggs and the yogurt, until it's smooth. So now what you do is you pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Make sure we get all of it. Oh gosh, I just broke my fork. So you put it all in.
That looks amazing, Shosh.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now for this step, the next step you mix these together. We like to use one of these babies, but you can also use a whisk or some other sort of manual tool to mix it all together. This just makes it a little bit easier.
Do you beat it on the lowest speed?
I like to start out at a pretty low setting.
Because you don't want the flour to fly
Yeah,
all over the
exactly.
place?
Especially with this bowl because it's pretty filled up. You're gonna know you're done mixing when it has a consistency similar to this. It's gonna be a little bit sticky because of the yogurt, but still, this is the right consistency to start frying. You scoop up with a regular spoon a glob of the dough, and then you push it off using your finger into one spot in the oil. Oh no, we have a little runaway spot. That's okay. We can make a very tiny donut. You should already have set up a plate with paper towels on it because the frying goes quite quickly.
Do you want to show
So
them?
as you can see, they're growing. They grow quite quickly. Their shape is going to be a little bit funky, but that's okay. It gives them charm. Makes them look truly homemade. And then you wait a while, By a while, I mean you wait about maybe 30 seconds, a minute. You kind of vibe it out until one side it has this nice like golden brown tone, or it can be a little darker than that. And then you flip it over. But usually when they're this color, they're completely cooked through.
Pretty.
So we're gonna put this onto the paper towel. It's important you have paper towel down so that the excess oil has somewhere to go. It should be this nice golden brown color. And now you can get started on my favorite step, which is putting in the jelly. We have raspberry jam. This is our personal favorite. So what you do is you take a spoon, you scoop the jelly into a Ziploc bag or any sort of
generously?
plastic bag. Yeah, generously, because we like to fill it up with a lot of jelly.
Didn't you invent this technique with your uncle?
Me and my uncle Gil did in fact invent this technique.
He's a surgeon, so.
Yes, so he's very, very precise. And now, in order to make it something that you can squeeze it out of, you cut off the tip. You should keep the hole relatively small so that not too much comes out at a time. But something like that, a few millimeters in radius. And then, sometimes it helps to make this a two-person job, but it can also be a one-person job. You take the donut, you take a knife, you go in on one end, you kind of move it around like this to create the hole for the jam. And then you take the jam, you put the hole into the hole in the donut, and you squeeze. And see, it starts to fill up like that. Then you do that with the rest of the donuts. You take your knife, you put it in, move it around to make that deep hole. And then you put the jam in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until it fills up like that. So now you can take, I like to use a salt and pepper shaker and fill it with powdered sugar. The powdered sugar is optional, but I would highly recommend. And you pour it on top like this. It gives that nice extra sweetness to your jelly donut, your Sufganiyot.
You know, I've also seen you use a colander.
Yes, that works quite well as well.
You know,
Big colander,
the
you pour it
thin
in.
kind, like the wired kind, not the plastic kind. Delicious. Do we get to taste it yet, Shosh?
Of course we do.
Okay.
So now you have your powdered Sufganiyot. They're a great Hanukkah treat. With this recipe, you can make about 30 of these, maybe 20, 25, 30. And they're always a hit for any Hanukkah party or any celebration with your family. Would highly recommend. They taste so good.
Are you ready to taste
Are
it?
they too hot?
No, I can't wait. Here
Happy
we go.
Hanukkah!
Oh, cheers. Wait, one
Cheers!
more time.
Happy Hanukkah!
Happy Hanukkah. Oh my gosh. Shoshie, you outdid yourself this year. She's amazing, and you're amazing because this simple recipe you can do in less than an hour and delight yourself, your family, and your loved ones with any flavor of jam or preserves. I'm Rabbi Karen Bender from Los Angeles Jewish Health. Here's my daughter Shoshie. We want to wish you a very happy Hanukkah. Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach!
Happy Hanukkah.